Hey, what's up everybody? It is super bright out today and a nice Washington day. Anyway, I'm over at the Cars for Giving lot, and right now I'm gonna go meet up with Jules and see what we are working on today. Alright, what's going on?
Well, when we picked up the Suzuki, we had to jump start it, and as you can see, this battery is pretty gross. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna remove this battery. You can see it's swollen looking, and even when we jump started it and ran it, you could smell like a real sulfur smell coming from the vehicle. So for all we know, that battery's ready to explode at any time, and I just want it out of the vehicle. Then we're going to clean up the connections, and we're going to grab a shop battery and see what it does. All right, so when you disconnect the battery, always disconnect negative first, and the reason why is tools are metal. And when I break this loose, say this was a metal ratchet and I touch the ground here with it, see how that can touch it? If this was the power wire and I touched ground somewhere, it's gonna arc out and it's just gonna burn. If you're holding the metal, it could melt into your skin, so not safe. Always disconnect negative first, and that way, negative doesn't care if it touches negative. And then once it's off, doesn't care. Now that the battery's disconnected, if we remove positive and we touch ground, it doesn't matter because the vehicle isn't grounded to the battery. So that is why. And then when we go back together, you put positive on first and then negative for the same reason. So it's just the opposite. All right, this looks pretty gross. It may break the connection. That is so gross. We're gonna remove this nut and take off this whole positive connection and take it to the bench on the wire wheel and clean her up and see if we can reuse it. Alright, so we're gonna get in here and clean up some of the corrosion from the battery. And we have this spray that just kind of coats it and then you rinse it off. So we're gonna, everything that turns pink means that there was acid there. I think this one needs it, but we'll clean it anyway. You can see a little bit of pink. See, it's starting to turn pink. Now we let that go ahead and sit for a couple minutes, and then we'll come back and you either wash it off with a damp rag or you rinse it off. So we'll decide what we want to do. So we just got a jug of sink water here, and we're just going to rinse off those spots that we sprayed. It's a little bit better. We're still going to take it to the wire wheel and clean it up some more. So we're over here, got the wire wheel, going to fire it up, and then we're just going to kind of clean this thing on the wheel. You listen to the wheel when it starts to bog down. That means you're putting too much pressure, and let off. There's a lot of surface to cover. We're just going to hit it in all the different angles that we can get it in there. We may have to do touch up with another tool. This is just to speed things up and get the bulk of everything nice and clean. Alright, I think I've done about all that I can do. There's still some stuff in here that we're going to go and just have to do it by hand. Got a couple different tools here. We have this brush. I can kind of get in here. Try to clean some of that. And we also have this. And get in there and it's kind of like brushing your teeth. Oh yeah, and then this will go inside of here and we can get the inside that we didn't get yet. So we got a file now. We're just going to kind of get in here on the heavy spots. Get it on the vehicle and see how it does. These, we want to clean these up before we put on the connector that we cleaned. Got to clean everything that it touches.
What you got here?
I'm just trying to wipe off this dried up corrosion that didn't get cleaned from the foam and the little rinsing. All right, let's put this thing back together. We got this thing that bolts on here. We have the nut. Gonna tighten it by hand, and that should be tight. Only because I know my gun and I trust it. And there we go. Let's go get us a battery. All right, let's go ahead and get down here and clean these posts. All right, let's get these in. All right, let's go ahead and get our positive on first, because if we touch ground anywhere, we are safe. Do this lightly. Probably shouldn't even use a power tool, but I know how to use it. And then we're gonna hand tighten it the rest of the way. And then once I'm happy with how tight it is, I'm gonna jiggle it. And if the connector spins on the post when it's tight, then either the post is too small or the connector is just damaged. So you either need a new battery or a new connector, or possibly both. But that one feels nice and solid. We can hide it. We have a negative. We can see if she works. If it works, then we'll mount it. Feels solid. All right, let's find out if this shop battery even works. We are this much closer to having a running, driving automobile to give to somebody that's in need. I'm so excited for this.